Hello, this is episode 2 of That's Just Life. Now, my website, just as a reminder, is pamcarter.net. You'll often see when you go in the word Maitland, and that is used on the web, so that will distinguish me from all the other thousands of Pam Carters that are there. And also, please note that the examples of my artwork is now on the website. And if you wish to contact me or offer a comment, my working email address can be found under contacts when you open the website. In the first podcast of this series, I talked about our home and when we arrived back in Australia in 1977 after we returned from the UK. The subject of houses reminded me of old houses we've seen as we travelled around the country. Many of these houses were built by settlers, while others were built by people who, after establishing their businesses, went on to live in more substantial houses. Often the old house was left as it stood on the land and over time had slowly fallen into disrepair through age and neglect. Generally, most of the original houses had just 2 rooms, but as the family grew, extra rooms were added. I'm particularly reminded of a small deserted old residence on a farm that I visited on a regular basis. Inside the house, which at this time was minus a roof, were the remains of furniture that, like the house, was falling into disrepair. And in the cupboards, especially in the bathroom cupboards, remains tins of ointment, toothpaste, combs, etc. And old clothing was strewn over a homemade bed. As was my ilk, I wrote a poem that came from my imagination, and I called it The Homestead. My great-grandpa, he came to this land with his bride so long ago. They travelled to the outback to run sheep and crops to grow. They put money in this property and toiled the land to clear. They worked through flood and drought and heat with sweat and pain and tear. From mud and stones and wooden poles, they built a 2-room shack and extended it as the children came beside a winding track. Now, this homestead did not look like much, but it was a lovely place to live, full of love and warmth and laughter. They had so much to give. Although at times the going was rough, they were never heard to moan, and everyone was welcome from wherever they did roam. Be it friend or tramp or stranger, all felt at home there on the land, with rabbit stew to fill them, made by my grandmother's hand. This place remained the family home, passed from father down to son. For many years it stayed like that, until its days were done. When white ants chewed through the roof beams, and the tiles slid off the roof, and rain leaked down the chimney, it was just too old in the tooth. So my spouse and I decided with a very heavy heart that the time had come to build with bricks and with our old house part. There was no way in this wide world we could knock the old place down. It remains there as our heritage, sitting there just like a crown. We built our new house with brick and tile, filled with the latest things. Our life was good and happy, with joys a family brings. Yet I often look from my window at the old house across the way, and it makes me sad to see it fall into such decay. But it seems right that it's returning to the land from whence it came. Time never waits for man or beast, for nothing stays the same. But memories last forever, as do stories that are told. And as long as our family can survive, this land will ne'er be told. Maybe in the years to come, our new home will be outdated, and some future sons will build anew, with materials not yet created. My only wish, when that time comes, is that pride will still remain for all their forebears who came before and made their mark on this terrain. We were fortunate to have pleasant neighbours in the next street where we'd chosen to move to. There were a variety of ages and cultures in our small community, all of which were ready and friendly towards each other and never hesitated to wish them all a good day when they met. Across the road lived a family with young children, and before long our children made friends with them. Directly next door lived Jill and Tom, who helped us when we first moved in, and they soon became good friends. We enjoyed time spent with these neighbours, but the best time was attending the wedding of Jill's mother. That was a very special occasion, and it's mentioned in the following poem. Here is an ode to the folks next door. They have just retired and so working no more. So we send our best wishes for their special day. Let's hope the Navy hurries up with Tom's pay. Tom is Aussie, as an Aussie can be, and Jill is a cutie and good friends to me. Let us hope they stay for years, for you see, we'll stay next door, and good friends we'll still be. Jill's mother is in a retirement place, who at 90 still has beauty and grace. She met a nice pom and is getting wed. The date is set, before it's too late, she said. She dressed up real nice, as her bridesmaid did, and she walked up the path to her dear Sid. I took the organ onto the porch outside and played for the wedding. Here comes the bride. They gave us the biggest laugh of the year, 'cause Tom's got a pom stepfather, I fear. It's not so bad, mate, now don't you worry. If she'd wed an Indian, there'd be lots of curry. They'd gone pommy mad, 'cause Pen for her prize won a trip to England. Oh, what a surprise! Not as big as a shock they'll have in store if from England she brings a pom son-in-law. So come, join the club, bring the family too. When you can't beat them, there's just one thing to do. Join us, dear Tom and Jill, as we sing. Just raise up your middy for God Save the King. I'm afraid the Queen didn't rhyme. As we get older, every pain or ache is put down to age. Sometimes that is correct, but often it is a complaint that could affect any age. It's often said it's no fun getting older. Although age may bring on a few more aches and pains, age can have good experiences too. For instance, grandchildren can bring great delight without the responsibility of day-to-day decisions. Then there is time to do things you've often thought of doing. No more working, free travel, cheaper entry into exhibitions and other events, joining clubs, making new friends. Older people often gain more confidence to express themselves. Each phase of life should be accepted and enjoyed as a gift. So keep smiling, have the right attitude, and have fun in your later years. Here's a poem about age. I've called it, It's Your Age, Dear. If you're feeling kind of sick and you say, oh, I've got a pain, are you told that it's your age, dear? Take my advice and don't complain. If your eyes are kind of blurry and books are getting hard to read, you'll be told, oh, it's your age, dear. Glasses are what you really need. If your day has been quite hectic and your energy starts to sap, you're told, well, at your age, dear, you surely need a nana nap. Don't take a youngster to the shops if you want modern shoes so neat, for they'll hand you wide brown lace-ups for your knobbly, swelling feet. And frilly pants, brief and lacy, I'm not on at your age, dear. You need those great big bloomers to cover up your sagging rear. You buy some exotic perfume and you're told, oh, maybe you ought to, at your age, my dear old Nan, buy lavender or nice rose water. People will often ask you what it was like in your day. Hey, I'm still alive and kicking, so today's my day, you say. So yes, maybe you are older, but you still have a life to live. Don't sink into the old age thing, for you've still got a lot of life to live.